Hey everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you're all doing well out there. Hope you had a good hump day on the downswing toward the weekend now. I'm going to go look for some new stuff to buy and tie-dye tomorrow and Friday, and hopefully going to do another batch this weekend because now I'm just into full, I almost wear a tie. I have a tie-dye for every day of the week. In fact, now I have personal tie-dye for more than every day of the week. So anyhow, today I just thought I'd talk about the biggest change for me since starting a raw food diet. Guys, I do videos every day, so if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please go down and hit that red subscribe button now. Then be sure you click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. None of this is, the biggest change. I don't have any amazing stories of losing 100 pounds. I was fairly for a drunk, I was fairly healthy when I came into this lifestyle. I don't remember it. I can't say I had any digestive issues. Never really got sick a whole lot even before this lifestyle. So for me, yeah, there have been tons of physical changes. I mean, my energy level is always through the roof now. My weight stays stable year round, even though everybody, oh, you're too skinny all the time. But I put on a little bit of weight this last year. But yeah, it's maintenance. I feel good. I feel good all the time. But the real change has come, and I was thinking about this last night after I'd finished the day and was just kind of laying in bed. Really doing nothing, playing with my phone a little bit, checking out some stuff. And I just started thinking like how different life was before, how different my attitude in life and the way I looked at life. I wasn't one of those super negative people that you just hated to be around, that everything that I said was negative, but there was a lot of negativity. And, I used to let things bother me so much. I could be that. And a lot of that probably ties in, and I should mention for people that haven't watched my channel, that to be completely honest and transparent, it's not necessarily 100% the raw food. There's different things that are mixing in here because around the same time, there were a lot of profound changes in my life. It wasn't just about the body, the health, whatever, I stopped drinking. I had lived kind of a seedy, kind of a life. So I just wanted to really make some major changes in my life besides trying to prevent myself from having some serious disease from all the abuse that I had done. But almost from the very beginning, so it has to have a little bit to do with the food. Almost from the very beginning, it just really mellowed me out a lot. Now that don't mean I don't have no fire, and I think that gets me in trouble, and I think that's why I don't grow sometimes, because people will see loving things I put out, and I try to love as many people as possible, but I'm not a nonsense person. And I like that saying, don't ever mistake my kindness for weakness, because if you ever step, you're not going to get no other cheek turned. You're not going to ever find Gandhi. I mean, because I still have that in me. I don't want to extinguish that, and I know certain elements about me. But in general, I walk around a happy person all the time. And I was thinking about this today. I was going to visit my mom at the nursing home, and I was just thinking about, like the way even I do simple things now and the reaction. Used to, and a lot of times it had to do with days I was hungover and I'd be in a surly mood, and I might be not necessarily short with people, but just very, I didn't have a smile on my face. If I met any resistance to anything, I could be grumpy, grouchy. And now, even if it's just to be practical, even if it's actually just for your own benefit, I notice now how people react to me so much differently when I'm out and about. And you get a lot further like that. You open doors, this smile, talking to people a little bit. I found that it helps to convince people whatever you're trying to convince them of. Or, just, I don't mean you're necessarily trying to convince somebody or something, but people just respond to that a little bit differently. My emotional balance. That's why I don't listen to a lot of people on this lifestyle, because they're supposed to be eating so great and they've gotten all this result, and I cleared my skin up and I lost 100 pounds and I did this and I did that, and everybody's like, oh my God, have you seen so and so? They're amazing. And they're freaking emotional wreck. Some of your icons on YouTube, some of your icons in social media. I've seen so many train wrecks when it comes to the emotional balance and the mental balance over the last 7 years. How many YouTubers, big YouTubers, aren't around anymore? They've moved on to something completely different. and people still worship them. People still watch them. It's almost like that, it's like that, like a train wreck or a tragedy. You don't really like it, but you can't take your eyes off of it. And I see people putting up adulation for these people that are messes. Only thing I can figure is people relate more to a mess, because it kind of it's some weird psychology. It kind of it kind of makes them more human, and it's like it really kind of gives them an excuse. It seems to endear some of their gurus to them even more because they're a mess, because that kind of gives them an excuse to be a mess, and they're like, oh well, this is my idol, this is my hero, this is the one I have up on a pedestal, and I see them getting on every day talking about this mess, talking about that mess, talking about the other mess. I let go of the messes. I let go of the messes when I came to this lifestyle. I was chatting with a friend last night, and she was telling me something about some drama that she, nothing to do with her, but just some drama she had heard about. And I'm like, wow, I don't have the capacity to live with that in my life anymore. I went through one period that was just a living hell on earth situation I was in. Just had me basically pacing outside my apartment, smoking Marlboros every night, lighting one off the other, drinking myself to sleep. So after having lived in discord for a period, I'm like, oh, no, never again. And that's another thing that people just kind of look at you funny when you tell them like this. When people ask me about how do you deal with stress, how do you deal with that, I'm like, I'm not real sure. About the same time I went raw, whether the raw had to do with it, whether the cutting out alcohol had to do with it, or whether it was a mix of all of it, I just stopped allowing stress. And people look at you real funny, and they actually think you're a clown or something when you say that. I'm like, yeah, I don't do stress. I don't do stress. I banned it almost 7 years ago, and I just don't do it. The closest I come to that, and I think that's a step leading up to stress, and always deal with it there, is anxiety. Anytime I get a little bit of anxiety, I apply my mindfulness. I go back to the now. I breathe. I go to the breath. But yeah, just about from day one, I've said, no, I don't have stress. I don't allow stress. Stress is, it's counterproductive if you can really go into your head and say like, okay, I can be stressed here, but being stressed is not going to help this situation. And well, how do you do it? I don't know. I just don't do it. I just don't have stress. I just don't have stress. I won't allow anything in my life that's going to cause me continual stress. I just said something on Facebook a little while ago, and it was something to the effect of, you don't let anybody treat you in a shitty way. People like have these excuses. Well, it's my brother-in-law, whether it's my sister-in-law. Anybody that treats you bad on a continual basis, I'm not talking about one-time thing, but anybody that treats you bad on a continual basis and you stay around, that's on you. So many people. I basically about 7 years ago just kind of got out of my own way too with a lot of things. So many people cause their own unhappiness by the things they do every day. So I don't know. It was almost like the big light. The big light went off over my head, and I just started getting some of this stuff. I got clarity. Now a lot of that probably did come from the stopping the drinking, but also too, as my body got a lot of the gunk out of it, got a lot of the animal products out of it, it was kind of a 1-2 punch. Almost imagine treating a sickness or an illness with two different types of medicine. It was like a 1-2 punch. And, all of a sudden I started having a lot more clarity. All of a sudden, nothing that I had done before, none of the way I had lived before made any sense. And when I started seeing these things, and I started actually, noticing how my new attitude affected my life, how not only did it affect people around me, but also how it affected me, it was like, damn, you wasted a lot of years, didn't you? I mean, you come to things when you come to things, but yeah, all in all though, I mean, I could just kind of keep going on, but it's all pretty much the same thing. It's just that it was more of an inner change for me. The change was inner, I don't have this great before and after photo. I mean, yeah, I've lost weight. I mean, I was a little chubby when I first started this again, but I had done that in the past, so that was no big deal. Even if I hadn't gotten on this path, I could have gotten back in the gym and eaten other stuff and gotten lean and whatever, and I did it a number of times, get real super, work out, get pretty ripped, but stay still pretty big. And then, slowly get back into the bottle, eating a bunch of bad food and get a little fat and then do it all over again. But this lifestyle, I've felt good. I wake up feeling good every day. I wake up in a good mood almost every day. And if there's things troubling me, I have things I can do. I just plug in to the good stuff around me. There's been times here, I'm not in an area right now where I would choose to be. I'm not in a situation I would choose to be in, but I go out in the park. I go out in my backyard. I watch the squirrels. I feed the squirrels every day. I can always, always, always find something pleasant in life. I can find something that makes me smile in life. So that's the biggest change right there. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna leave it with this. If all you've seen is physical change, I don't give a damn if you've lost 100 pounds. If you're still troubled in your head, you're probably not, there's something going on. You may not be eating right. It may not be the diet, but it may be. Because I think that this extreme stuff a lot of people do, and I think there's just a lot of different things people do that are causing that inner turmoil, because I'm as calm as an ocean most of the time. I might sound loud, I might sound excited, and I think that comes sometimes from the fact that I'm not around people. You lose your voice. When you don't talk a lot, I do find myself kind of being like, speaking loudly, being a little bit manic. But I've also noticed the few times that I have been around people and I'm around them, for a couple of hours, a few hours, I settle in. And that eases up a bit. So yeah, the biggest change for me has definitely been inside, how I feel, who I am. And you know what? That's it. At 55 years old, I'm probably, even though I was in Costa Rica for so long, I'm at the happiest point in my life right now. I've been happy for 7 years, and that's really good enough for me. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.